Hey again, everybody. Um, I haven't uploaded it in a couple days. I had some friends visiting from my home state, so it was nice to see them. So didn't really have time to make some videos, but we're back. Um, and before we get to today's topic, which is going to be centered around emotion and feeling, I just want to say thank you for all the recent comments on uh, on the video about time. Um, it's it's very humbling to know that there are many other people going through similar things that I am, and I'm hoping that this channel can be something that can be a comfort to all of you, to know that we're all going through pretty similar things. And we can all be that shoulder to lean on for one another. And so it just feels very good, and I'm very grateful. So anyway, today I want to talk about the range of emotions that we have. And I got this idea. I was scrolling TikTok as you do. Something I should do less of probably, but there's these waves of TikToks that I'll get sometimes where I'll get a bunch of these short podcast clips of just these guys talking about some really deep concepts. And so, I mean, in a way, it's good that I'm kind of seeing this because it gives me ideas of things to talk about. But I mean, this is something that I think about pretty often anyway. I was thinking about today because the stress of school and careers and expectations for me was really getting to me earlier today. And I was stressing. I mean, my friends who were visiting had just left, and I don't know, felt very alone, felt a lot of pressure suddenly forced its way into my mind. And it made me think about that it is really a privilege that we have, that we're able to feel this wide range of emotions as we're able to. And so this is kind of the question that you should ask yourself, or that I've asked myself when I'm going through hard things. And it's a good perspective to kind of take a step back. And it's why would you not want to feel everything? Why would you not want to feel all of it? The bad and the good. We're here and we feel things. We react to things. We have control over how we react to things. But that's our reaction. That's not the feeling that we get from it. Emotions aren't something that can they can be controlled. But the initial feeling that you have to things, you can't really control that. It's your behavior past that point that you have control of, because we have things happen to us, and unless you are completely just detached, you're going to have some kind of initial reaction to it. And so there's no way to completely avoid those bad feelings. But the question is that without the good, or without experiencing the bad, we wouldn't know what the good is. And we learn more when we experience bad things than when we experience good things. We learn more from failure than from success. We learn more from like a bad, I say this lightly because some bad relationships are just that, they're just bad. But if you've been through a bad relationship, and you came out of it, and you realized a lot of things about yourself and about the other person, and kind of moving forward, you can then think of, okay, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm not looking for. But why would you not want to have those experiences? And not that you should put yourself into a place where those things will happen. Of course, you want to avoid it, but those things are going to happen anyway. And so why would you not desire that for yourself, though? Because that's how you're going to grow. You're not going to grow just from staying in one comfortable place. And so this is a question that I ask myself a lot when I'm, especially right now, the time of life that I'm in, where I'm making some big decisions, and I have a lot of stressful things going on. And I don't really have it figured out, and nobody does, and I know that, but it's hard to convince yourself of that sometimes. And so think about that it's a good thing that I'm able to recognize that these are bad things, and that these are things that I want to avoid in the future, and now I've learned that. So I'm glad that I had this experience, because moving forward I can, I know more of what I want. I know more of who I am because of this. And that might be, something to do with education, something to do with careers, could be a bad experience that you had with a close friend, with a family member, anything like that. But I think I've said this in a previous video, but kind of a short snippet, or a shorter version of the main point that I'm getting at here, is that if it's good, then great. If it's bad, it's experience. And there has to be, there can't be good without the bad. And so this goes back to kind of the same concept that I was talking about in That Time Will Pass Anyway, of the inhales and the exhales. That you can't have, you have to exhale before you inhale, you have to inhale before you exhale. And so put yourself into situations where you are going to grow. And actually, a little bit of a story, just from yesterday. So my friends were visiting. Where I live, there's a ton of hiking. So we went on a hike yesterday, one of the most popular hikes near where I live. Beautiful hike. We made it all the way to the peak. We thought we won it a few times. It was a pretty long hike. And man, we were feeling it. Like, we were feeling it as we got further and further up. One of my friends, hasn't hiked, it was his first hike ever. So he was not used to it. It was probably not the best introductory hike to do for him, but overall it was a great experience. But it's November, so there's a little bit of snow up there, and it was slippery. And I was the only one who didn't fall. Everybody else fell at least once. One of my friends got absolutely caked in mud. And so, in retrospective, though, thinking of this hike and thinking of, there were a lot of times where we were like, we might not get back before the sun goes down. Maybe we should turn around right now. There were multiple points where we said that and we thought that. But we were like, but once we're up there, it's going to be so pretty. We want to get this picture, I know it's going to be worth it. So we kept going. We got to the icy part at the very, very top, which is right before where the, peak is. And we're like, but coming back down this later is going to suck. We're trying to get up this right now. It's too slippery. But we ended up finding kind of alternate paths of how to get up. It was kind of sketchy in a couple spots, but we made it. We made it all the way up. Beautiful sight. And so just kind of taking that whole experience as a metaphor to what I'm talking about. that view was that much more beautiful because it was hard getting up there. And the hardest part was right before the peak. So you're going to have goals and you're going to have aspirations that, or the peak, you could say, that you're going to be trying to get to. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be slippery. It's going to be icy. It's going to be cold. You're going to be tired. And there's going to be other smaller roadblocks in your path. And you're going to keep thinking, maybe I should turn around. If I keep going, I might not make it back before sunset. But you have more time than you think. We got back about an hour earlier than when we thought that we would. And but the hardest part of the whole hike was right before the peak. So think on that. That's what I've been thinking on. I'm going to write more about it in my journal later. Wrote a lot about it last night. Sometimes when things seem like they're at their worst, just around the corner could be the next best thing. Could be that goal, could be that peak that you are trying to get to, or at the very least, it's progress. You're closer to it, and you'll see that once you get past it. But we couldn't see the view, we couldn't see the peak until we got past all of the ice and all of those really hard spots of the hike. So something to think about. And again, I love all of your comments. If you guys have anything that you want me to specifically speak on, I am open to suggestions. So that's what I've been thinking about. And that'll be it for now. See you in the next one.